Okay, so we should be good here. Let's see. Okay, sorry for the late start. Let's go ahead and get this moving. All right. Let's see here. Okay, so that should get everything together here. All right. Get the angle a little bit better. Sorry about this. Sorry about that adjustment period. I think we're good to go now. All right. Hi, folks. Steven here. So, got another one of these live streams. We're going to go over a couple things today. First thing is going to be the, the Pokemon Go Community Day that was yesterday. And I'm also going to show you some stuff about the Power of Us locations, at least for the US. I've done a little research, and even though the tickets aren't really supposed to go on sale until, I guess Thursday the 27th. I think that's the day. I think I can move this over just a shade too. In any case, they don't go on sale to the Thursday the 27th. You can actually get information on a chain-by-chain basis by digging through their websites. I'll show you a little bit of that later. But first off, let's talk about Community Day. So, obviously that was yesterday. This is, I guess, the first of the Johto Starter Community Days. So they were doing, putting out Chikorita there. And so let's see, locally here in Madison, it ran from 1 to 4 p.m. Once you adjust for the time change for North America and whatnot. And I'm trying to think what else. I was out there doing some things and taking care of some errands, I guess you could say. And in between, I managed to catch actually quite a few Chikorita. They were, as usual with these things, all over the place. I did have a few technical hiccups. I had to update the app, which this tends to be sometimes a large download is always a bit intimidating. Like if I have to override my network settings, I didn't have to. And I realized I was not near a Pokestop where I was, and I needed to get some more Pokeballs to work with. Luckily, I still have the vast majority, probably 90-some% of the not the full refund from the settlement earlier this year, but the credit they gave me for Pokemon Go Fest from last year. So that wasn't too hard. I even bought the special box thing that they do for the Community Day thing, which actually gave me a bunch of Ultra Balls. And since I'm not quite up to level 20 yet, that actually ended up being a pretty good, I would say, deal on my part. And by the way there, we may have some time. Let me just take a look here. Let's see, chat. Let's see. All right, so I put a thing in the chat there, so hopefully that all works. I've seen some things where the chat doesn't always have everyone who's in there, all the messages, because I go back to the review and there's messages in the chat that I never saw, which is weird. But do try and ask some questions there if you want. I'll try to answer those. We may have some time later on to do some stuff here. So, but anyway, to Community Day, I never did see a shiny Chikorita, and I've had better luck on some of the other Community Days. I know I got a shiny Larvitar, a couple shiny Charmander earlier this year, and stuff like that. So unfortunately did not get that. I'll show you some pictures in a little bit here of some of the Pokemon I did get and whatnot during yesterday's session. I actually did, though, manage to get a number of other Pokemon. So I think I will just go straight and let's see. Screen share. Try screen application window. Oh, wait, I need to open up something first. My mistake. Okay. So let's go to some of the pictures I got from some of the stuff I picked up over the... Give it a second here. Open with... Let's see. Okay, and now... Okay, so you should be able to see right now. This gives you a rough idea of some of the Pokemon I caught during this. The first line of Chikorita is down there at the bottom. You can see a few of the other things I was able to get. There's another screen or two of this above, but I'll be showing you basically what I got here. So obviously, a ton of Chikorita. They're everywhere during that 3-hour period. I'm guessing next month, it's either Cyndaquil or Totodile. I forget which comes next, which one is Pokemon 4 in the Johto Pokedex. But I also picked up a Ponyta, picked up a Ghastly, picked up a Doduo. And let's see, go on to the next screen. Let's see, Dratini. So that's a neat one, because that's actually the first Dratini I got through any of all my time playing Pokemon Go. So I guess pretty lucky there, if I do say so myself. Let's see, I actually did manage to pick up a couple new Pokemon this time around, Chikorita being one of them. I had not managed to get a one of those by that point. Let's see, what else have we got? And so some of the useless Bulbasaur, they may have put a few more in there than usual, or I was just kind of lucky. Okay, and now those of you who stayed after the event, let's see, yeah, there you go. Ditto everywhere. I'm not sure if you can see my mouse cursor if you just see the screen. But in any case, there were a bunch of Ditto, and they were done in this kind of unusual way. Because right at 4 o'clock after the Chikorita event ended, all these little things started to appear on the map, and they had these weird gears for heads. I wish I had a picture of that. Unfortunately, I don't. But you would sort of access them like any other, Pokemon Go Pokemon. It would take you to the battle screen, and you saw this thing. I kind of suspected it was something Ditto related. I didn't remember reading when Ditto would be coming to the game or whatever like that, but what happened was basically it just came in, and once you caught it, it turned into, it looked a little bit like a Ditto, like the bottom portion, but like I said, there's this weird gear thing on the top. I'm not sure what the point of that was. I guess that's a Ditto in its raw form, because we'll talk more about this later. But, you know, I caught it, and then it said, oh, you found Ditto, which also was a new Pokemon for me. So I actually ended up getting quite a bit of experience between some new Pokemon and some new, some missions or whatever that I completed and got a bunch of experience. I went from level 18 to level 19, which was nice. Let's see. So those are some of the Ditto I got. I think that's the last of those, but okay. So here's the Dratini I got. First Dratini, so it's going to be a long time. I doubt Dragonair or Dragonite appear in the wild very often, if at all. But you can see I got a okay one there, I guess. Gonna have to get a lot more candy. Maybe I'll have to walk with it or something to get the candy there, because Dratini, obviously very rare Pokemon, but very glad I was able to get one yesterday. Let's see. Ghastly, here's another one. So here's the Ghastly I picked up, and it's not the first one I've gotten, but I've got a long ways to go before I can evolve that. You notice I haven't really been using my Stardust for much of anything. I'm really just collecting stuff in Pokemon Go. I'm not really doing a ton of, challenging gyms, which I guess I have to do to complete this like special field research or whatever is coming up next. Let's see. Next one up. Here's one of my Chikorita. Looks like the gender ratios do hold for Pokemon Go just the same as they do for the regular game. So most of the Chikorita I got were male. But this was one of the higher, I think this was the highest CP Chikorita I got yesterday, 440. And go ahead and put in the comments. I'll have to check those periodically. Let's see here. Yeah. Okay, what we got here. If you picked up anything of note in there, certainly would like to hear that. Let's see here. Control room, cameraman, screen share. Okay. But feel free to put some comments in there and whatnot. So let's see. Yeah, everything kind of looks okay there. Checking out the control room. But anyway, back to the Chikorita image. I did catch a number of these. Let's see. Got plenty of Chikorita candy. Now, to get like the Frenzy Plant Meganium, you do have to evolve it all the way. So you have to catch a lot of these. And I've kind of stockpiled candy as well. I haven't made much use of that either. So let's see. Here's some more information about it. Madison, Wisconsin, United States. Yesterday, I used a Great Ball on that. Let's see. Next one. So this is a female one. Let's see. I don't think we can look back and forth. Not much difference there, it seems. I don't think there are any, not aware of any gender differences on the starters, generally speaking, other than, unless you count Pikachu, and I think maybe Eevee, which I guess you have to soon. Yeah, I guess I kind of called out this one because it's got Vine Whip and Body Slam, so perhaps that makes it Ash's Chikorita. So as you may remember in the anime, Ash's Chikorita was presumably female. It seemed to have somewhat of a crush on Ash. And maybe that's a Bayleaf. I think Ash, speaking of crushes, is like lucky it didn't crush him eventually. You can see I used an Ultra Ball for this one. I like that the game does show you that. So let's see here. And here's some other stats. Here's another female one I got. Here's a Bulbasaur I got, 171 CP. And like I said, I still don't have enough. I've been walking with I think the Bulbasaur I might have started the game with. It was either there or Squirtle. I can't remember off the top of my head. But not nearly enough candy to get an Ivysaur, kind of unfortunately. Let's see, what else we got here? This has Vine Whip and Sludge Bomb, which is kind of neat. Although, to be honest, Bulbasaur and Venusaur never did too great in the first generation because it was poison and therefore weak to Psychic. So I think in more recent generations with the Mega Evolution and whatnot, it has done better. Okay. So here's a look at the eggs I'm working on at the moment. As you can see, I have 3 incubators there. I made the mistake of using my infinite incubator on a 10-kilometer egg, but you should use your disposable ones for the 5 and 10-kilometer eggs so they last the longest, and then use your infinite ones on the 2s and some 5s, I guess. So still working on those. I have to admit, I'm not the most avid Go player. Let's see, what else we got here? So here are, let's see, so we just looped back around there. So that is the first picture there. So yeah, that's about what I'm working on there. But overall, very similar to the previous Community Day events that I've been to. Let's see here, and probably let me turn screen share off. All right. So that's a sort of a loose history of what I got. If you're watching this video, go ahead and give us a comment about. Let's get the chat back up. Let's see. Go ahead and give us a comment about what you caught at Pokemon Go Community Day this time around, and let us know what happened there. But that's sort of what's been what went on yesterday. So overall, definitely felt it was time well spent. The Ditto thing I did not know about, and actually I want to add one more thing there. So today I played a little more Go, and I went up against what I thought was a Mankey, but then after I caught it, revealed, oh, it's actually a Ditto as a Mankey, and so I guess you're going to be seeing that now as well. So. Always neat to see them keep adding stuff to Pokemon Go, and I like to see what they do in the future. I wonder if they're going to do, I mean, they have other stuff they can do special events for. I was just realizing, certainly I hope they do something for Detective Pikachu next year. If we get a special like Pikachu and Pokemon Go leading up to the movie. But speaking of Pokemon movies, I think it's time for me to go, let's see here, to another screen. Give me a second. Okay, application window. All right, so back to another screen here. Okay, so this is AMC theaters. So let's talk about this. So Pokemon the movie, The Power of Us, like I said earlier, tickets go on sale on the 27th, which is this Thursday. Now, if you go to the Fathom Events website, it says, it says tickets don't go on sale to the 27th. But if you know your local theater chain or chains that are in your area, if you're in a major market, likely they have more than one to choose from. Excuse me. But I've been doing some digging, and if you go on your theater chain website, there's a pretty good shot you can find it. The best way I think to find is if there's a search feature on the movie theater chain's website. I would say you probably want to use the search Power of Us, and that seems to work pretty well. That's how I found some of these, although there are alternative ways of digging through them. So this is AMC Theaters. It's, I believe, the largest chain in there. So basically, they have a search thing in there, and if you search for Power of Us, it'll take you around here. So they have a couple theaters here in the Madison area. They actually have, let's see, one, the AMC Madison 6, which used to be a Sundance cinema, of all things. Especially things that Sundance people put together a few and then eventually sold them off a few years ago. So they've got a 6-screener here in the city, in one of the malls around here. And they've also got a couple others throughout the country, but as far as this area goes, they have the AMC Classic Desert Star 15 is showing this movie. Now, this is a little bit weird, I have to admit, because this is actually a theater up north of the city in, I believe it must be Baraboo, or as it's colloquially known, there's a city in Wisconsin north of Madison called Wisconsin Dells, but that name also refers to that whole area. So this is a 15-screen movie theater in not the middle of nowhere, but certainly not the most densely populated part. So that may give you an idea. And this is not the only location. So I won't have to drive 32 miles to get there. Actually, just to sort of show what's going on here. Yeah, so this is the AMC Classic Johnson Creek 12. Another one here. So Johnson Creek is, it's weird because it's an outlet mall area in between Madison and Milwaukee. That's why it's 52 miles basically east of here, about halfway in between Madison and Milwaukee. And yeah, they're going with this one there. So that gives you an idea. And this is just one theater chain. So let me show you. Let's see. This is one that doesn't have too many theaters, any theaters in Wisconsin, but I'm going to take a look here at, let's see. So this is Regal Cinema. So you take a look here. They've got the banner there. Let's see. For some reason, randomly here, I have Anchorage, Alaska. You may remember that the 20th movie, I Choose You, did actually get, I think there were like 3 locations in Alaska. So here's one of them on this chain. And I suspect there's at least one more in Alaska, probably in Fairbanks, and maybe even more. Who knows? But they're doing a lot here. Like I said, I just kind of searched through here. I want to search another location. Let's go ahead and search Seattle, Washington. Why not? So here they've got a bunch of movies. Now, one thing I've noticed with Regal, you can see it down here if you look closely. Some of their places don't seem to have a Saturday showing. I don't know if that's a logistical thing. It is like the Saturday following Thanksgiving, so maybe there's some special stuff going on there. So I have noticed, this is the only chain I've noticed, though, that doesn't have everything on Saturday. I could be wrong about that. This is certainly the easiest way to see it. But you can see they have a few more in the Seattle area, it looks like, going down there. All right, so one of the major theater chains here in Wisconsin is called Marcus Theaters. They're pretty much all around the Midwest and Great Lakes. They have a ton of locations in Wisconsin, a fair number in like Illinois and Minnesota and Michigan and Ohio. I know they got Nebraska, North Dakota, Iowa. I think that covers the vast majority. Missouri, I think they've got a couple, at least on the St. Louis side. So anyway, they have a little bit different listing. This one I just kind of dug down through their event listings for event cinema. And you can see they have a pretty good thing here. Now they have 2 cinemas here in Dane County where Madison is. and luckily they're next to each other alphabetically. They got the Palace Cinema in Sun Prairie, and they've got, okay, let's see, I don't need to, that's nice. And the Point Cinema, which is on the west side of Madison. So that's 3 locations in the Madison metro area already, and last time around we only had 2 from what I remember. And actually, I don't have them up because they're a very small chain. I think they're called Vision Theaters or something like that. I forget exactly what it is, but they're a very small chain that only has maybe a dozen or so locations nationwide. But there's also one in Fitchburg, which is, if you look on a map of Dane County, it looks like it's a square, a big square in there, but really only like the top third is populated and stuff like that. But they have a cinema there, which I thought used to be an AMC. In any case, it's also showing there. So that's 4 in this metro area. So I don't know what the statistics are for other metro areas. Let's see, what else they got here? They got the Rochester Cinema and IMAX. So Rochester, Michigan. I don't see La Crosse, which is where I went to college. I know they had it last time around, but they might be adding a few more here as time permits. They started this list a couple weeks ago, and they've been adding more and more to it. So you can see the various locations. Like I said, they have a lot here in Wisconsin, a number in the Chicago area, and then throughout the Midwest, they have ones here and there. All right, so another major movie chain I have here is Harkins. Not maybe super huge, but they do have a broken down kind of by state, sort of. I guess their biggest focus is Arizona. Again, here I just use the search thing to search for the movie title. Pretty easy. But you know, so they have a number in Metro Phoenix, a couple in southern Arizona, so like Yuma, Tucson, that stuff. California, Colorado, Oklahoma, and Texas. And then one of the other major theater chains is Cinemark. So let's see. Well, it gives you an idea of which zip code I might be from, but not going to get any more specific than that. Let's see. So you'll notice I have a bunch of things listed down here with ones. All the digit 0001 zip codes are all pretty much located in major U.S. cities. So, for example, if we go to 90001, fun geography stuff here. Let's see. Let's go ahead. So that's Los Angeles, California. You can see that Cinemark has some stuff there. Let's take a look at some of the other ones. Let's see. 6001 is... I don't think they have any theaters in the Chicago area, which is where 60001 is. Let's see. Let's go to 8001. Let's go ahead and search for that. I forget if they have anything. Yeah, they seem to be somewhat regional. They're definitely on the West Coast and some other places, but that's about what I've got there. Now, these are not final lists, and you know, even after the tickets go on sale, I could see them adding more locations as demand permits, especially if they start selling out. But it does look like, let's see, turn off screen sharing. Okay, that's sort of a lay of the land there, and certainly hope, like I said, I don't know what Pokemon's plans are for other countries. I'm not sure exactly what they're doing. I assume it'll be similar to the 20th movie, but at least here in Madison, it looks like they're getting even more locations than we did for movie 20, which is a nice surprise. I really expected it to be about the same or maybe even slightly less, just because I assume the movie did not gross as highly in Japan, but I guess it's certainly in a good time slot, being not long after the Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee games come out for the Nintendo Switch. I'm sure there'll be some trailer stuff for that, but I really hope it'd be really cool. I have no idea if they can pull this off, if they could do like a teaser trailer for Detective Pikachu coming out next year, but that might be still way too far ahead and stuff like that. Maybe they'll cut some stuff together, stay from Worlds with the actors and stuff and throw that in front there and maybe call that a trailer of some sort. But we'll see what happens with all of that. Like I said, definitely looking forward to this and want to make sure. Now, if you have any questions, go ahead and type those into the chat. Let's see. Always like to have those, but it looks like we're coming up pretty close on time. I don't think... let's see. But did want to get through both of those things here. Let's see. I want to make sure. Eventually, I think I'm going to switch to using OBS to do my stuff here because I think that's going to work better. But for now, these Hangouts, I want to try and do these at least once a month. But just to give you an idea, I usually wrap these up with an update on the channel. So just yesterday, Ann and I recorded our discussion of the music of the Victini movie. And she seemed to have a deeper understanding of the movies than I thought I had done well enough by watching both movies over the last couple of days and re-listening to some of the music and stuff like that. But I guess she might have been paying more attention than I was. Not to spoil too much. But of course, that's the Victini movies is the one where there's the black and the white versions of the movies. And the music is actually one of the areas where there's, in some ways, the most different. So we have a pretty good discussion there. Hopefully that goes up on our Patreon within the next, maybe as early as next weekend or the week after that. Let's see, what else is going on? As far as this channel, I'm looking to get up our European music discussion starting this next weekend. Hopefully get the first part of that up, time permitting. And then I have to get, well, that's basically how that goes. And in case you missed it earlier this month, next month, I'm not sure that Anna and I are going to be able to record a discussion like we normally would, but I'm going to be at Anime Bonsai in Utah, just north of Salt Lake City, and we're doing a panel called How to End a Pokemon Movie Musically. I have a nice little video about that, and definitely want to make sure that you have a chance to take a look at that. But if you have any questions, go ahead, give us a comment. Anything you want to say about Pokemon Go Community Day, what you got there, what you found, what your experiences were, anything about the power of us. Again, this was a very U.S.-centric view, kind of, unfortunately. But I'd like to know what's going on in other countries and when those tickets go on sale. But I am looking very much forward to that. It does have kind of a high standard to live up to. The Power of One, the second movie, is like my favorite Pokemon movie of all time, probably just because of how the music stuff turned out there. But even if it doesn't quite reach that, I think I'll still be happy with it. But what are your thoughts? All right, folks, thanks.